Welcome back to the Sports Zone Unfiltered. Well, here to talk a little Texans is a former Texan, our good friend, JJ Moses. JJ, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here. What's going on?
All right, we got a lot to talk about. We got into it in the first segment, but you were around Andre Johnson. You were in the locker room with him. You know him well. The team gave him a standing ovation when he returned, but I know during the offseason they had to have been sick of all the "is Andre Johnson going to come back" talk. I mean, what do you think really the reception is like for all of the team?
You know, I think it's important that Dre showed up. Dre Day. I'm so glad, first of all, that he showed up on the scene. Andre's such a good guy overall. You know, I've had an opportunity to be teammates with Andre for 2 years. And not one time did I hear Andre say anything negative. And actually, not one time did I actually hear Andre speak. I mean, he's really a quiet guy. So I think overall, when the players saw him come in and the coaches, it was just a standing ovation because they were so excited to see number 80 back in his uniform.
They did have some questions about, though, Andre obviously brought it up, how he had some questions about the future of this franchise. That doesn't rub any of the teammates the wrong way?
I just look at it more from a player's perspective. Andre wants to win. And who doesn't want to win? You've been around the league that many years. You just want to win. Obviously, he has the stats and all of that, but I think what will make Andre's career just really just be at the pinnacle, so to speak, is if he goes out as a winner. And so I don't think necessarily he's rubbed the coaches the wrong way, but I think it's important that he get in good standings with that quarterback right away because obviously he wants to put up those numbers soon.
You talk about being in good standing with the quarterback. How long do you think it's going to take for him to develop timing with, well, we assume Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to be the starter, or Tom Savage, who's obviously going to be working his way up. He was with Keenum last year. What do you think is going to be that time frame for him to develop that relationship?
That's a great question. I think that takes weeks. It takes weeks of preparation. So I wouldn't be surprised if the quarterback and a wide receiver chemistry between Andre and whoever the starting quarterback will be might start off kind of slow. But as the season progresses, it's a long season, that's when they'll kind of pick it up, hopefully. But Andre, he's the type of guy where he's going to come in shape. He's prepared. He's a student of the game on and off the field. He takes care of his body. He still looks like he's, 18 years old as far as his body looks. So my main concern is Andre just knowing the plays, just kind of getting used to that new chemistry with Coach O'Brien. And if he does that, Andre is going to have another phenomenal year.
Do you think it's going to be something that will be picked up by the end of the preseason, or is this going to wait until the regular season?
Yeah, as diehard fans, we want to see number 80 scoring touchdowns in preseason. We want to see Andre scoring touchdowns the first game against the Washington Redskins. But it's one of those things where I think it just takes time. It takes time, especially with a new quarterback. He does not have number 8 back there throwing him the football no more, or Case Keenum. We don't know what's going to happen with him. So I think the main thing is to get into that chemistry with Fitzpatrick right away, make some big plays, get some confidence, and then we'll see where it takes him.
You've been through the dog days of training camp.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's hot out there. Do you worry that Andre might get injured because he hasn't been going through the workouts and hasn't been with the team?
That's a great question. Again, when I was playing in tour days, it was actually dog days. These are actually easy days.
Like a vacation.
I mean, it's a vacation. I mean,
they're getting soft.
Seriously, I think you can go out there right now and make a football team.
Good.
As far as what they have to put into it. Now they're more easy going as far as making sure the guys are resting. They're resting with their legs and all that, preventing injuries. So I'm not too worried about Andre and his legs and not being in shape and all that. I just think the main thing is just to go in, gradually work your way in. And that's when the cream of the crop always rises to the top, so to speak.
They obviously have a new head coach. What's your impression of Bill O'Brien thus far?
Oh, my goodness. Just a real serious guy. It's funny when I heard his first interview, and he was really serious. He's got that look, that eye of the tiger, so to speak. And, when you listen to him, you're like, oh, my goodness, I'm going to really listen to what he's saying. And I think Coach O'Brien is going to tell it how it is. He's going to be the one to say, hey, look, such and such didn't come out and play today, and he's going to have to really step it up. So that's what I look forward to, is hearing Coach O'Brien speaking his mind and really being serious with the media as well.
All right, we have to get to something before we let you go, and that is your blog on jjmoses.com. Elements of Style?
Life and Style.
Life and Style.
Yes.
Okay, tell us what you have going on with your wife.
It's fun. My wife and I, we put together a blog, and we're just so excited to do it. We talk about fashion tips. We give inspirations. Well, thank you. You guys always look good, by the way. And,
of course we do.
And if you get a chance to
cameras.
use
a little help.
Yeah, and then we got the red socks down here. If you guys can kind of see that. Yeah, I think that you can pull it off big time. But if you get a chance, tune into our blog, jjmoses.com, and I think you're going to learn a lot of fashion tips from us.
The Elements of Life and Style on jjmoses.com. That's great. And will you be out at training camp? Will you be with the Texans ambassadors?
Absolutely. I'll be out this Saturday, July the 26th. Come on out, get a chance to meet some of the guys and watch number 80 hopefully catch some footballs, and Aaron Foster, and of course your favorite J.J. Watt put on the show. So we're excited to be out there on this Saturday.
It's going to be fun.
Well,
Yes.
JJ Moses, you're our favorite.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Paul and I will be back. We have some champs and chumps later in the show, and coming up next, well, we will get into some Rocket trash talk. I mean, what's going on? Running this season, we got it going on. All right, Sports and Unfiltered, brought to you by HEB.